Yeah, yes, and there's also like a thing where within genetics, there's a consciousness effect, like currently, not just through different lives, like we talked about. Japanese scientists did experiments with monkeys, and they called it the 100 monkey effect. There was a group of islands, and they would teach a certain amount of monkeys on one island to perform certain techniques. You know, throwing things, memorizing things, losing things, and doing all sorts of different tricks and stuff. And the other monkeys on the other islands started picking up on the skills of the first group of monkeys that was taught on one island. And after that, it got dubbed the 100 monkey effect. So somehow the monkeys were able to transfer the information they were learning from one island to another island. So the other group of monkeys.
With no exposure, or did they have exposure to each other?
No exposure, no exposure at all. And the test would be done on one island, and then they would move to a different island, and the monkeys on the other island that they start to interact with would already have the skills that was pre-shown to the first group of monkeys, that the first group of monkeys learned. The monkeys on the other island, they didn't know how to do it beforehand. It wasn't until it was first introduced to the first group. And so it's like something through the ether, something how they're able to tap in through the ether and pick up on this information and utilize it in a way to where it's helpful for them.
Subject you never really put any thought into before, and now all of a sudden you're like pouring out information that you otherwise shouldn't know. And it's just like, I don't know, again, too hard to explain, but sometimes there's things that I think, okay, I'm just daydreaming and this is my own idea. Other times I don't think that these are coming from me. It's almost like these are wavelengths and I just happen to like stumble in front of it and it hit me,
Yeah. You know.
They've done the same thing on monkeys, but with humans. If you give people crossword puzzles, and they've done it where like they give somebody yesterday's crossword puzzle, people do better on crossword puzzles than have all like say the New York Times or whatever,
Right.
So this one was done by people yesterday. You have not seen it. It's no different in, difficulty from the one that you were given that nobody has done, but one that you've done that's already been done, you're going to do better on. And I can't explain that, but it's just the collective consciousness. Like once it's been exposed, and I mean, that's kind of the other thing. It's really a stupid tangent, but you know what I like think about emojis?
Mo what?
Emojis, like on your phone, send a
Oh.
smiley face or a picture of an apple or whatever.
Right, yeah. I like those too.
It makes me laugh. Okay, I think it's like, you talk about ancient aliens and all of this stuff, and they always talk about, oh yeah, they were helping the Egyptians, and, that's kind of the tangent that they'll go on if they are going on it.
Yeah.
When everyone started using emojis, I laughed, and I said, this is just like Egyptian hieroglyphs.
It is really, and when you think about it, like look at how we communicate with each other. We call it a text, like ancient text. A text.
So here we look at all these things that we're so modern and they're so backwards and this is so ancient, but we've lost information that we don't know what they actually knew. So the Baghdad bomb or the Baghdad light bulb and the different, where they think they have like aircrafts or spaceships and, the carvings on the pyramids, and all these things that are unexplainable. So if those things are actually this whole, aliens came and showed us technology that we previously didn't know, and the Egyptians were so advanced, and, I know they talked about like the pyramids are
Right,
You look at the Wild West, and you look at the steampunk version of it. You've got modern technology in an archaic version. What if that's what we're living in right now?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if we're the steampunk in comparison to ancient Egyptians that did it the right way? You know? So, like, they don't have a bunch of bulky, stupid devices they've got to carry around. They're using the wavelengths that we're talking about, saying, oh, that's too weird, that's not an idea, there's no collective consciousness. Maybe they're tapping into it, and that collective consciousness is our World Wide Web that needs servers and physical things to do the exact same thing that they were able to do without any equipment. Of course, there's not going to be any evidence of it. It was all within them.
I believe I know how they built the pyramids. I don't think they use any machines or any workers. I think they naturally use the substance within the ether. They emitted some sort of, like, you know how you look at incense and you can see incense go up? There was something that they were able to utilize to access hyperspace, like the ether around us, and naturally be able to place the blocks and do different things like that. When you look at the pyramids, all you see is hieroglyphs. And how can you design the pyramids in hieroglyphs? What language did they use to design it? You can't use mathematics and all that stuff based on pictures of birds and snakes and stuff. You know, the language they used to build the pyramids has never really been shown. And
Exactly.
and so
That's exactly it. So hieroglyphs are not the Egyptian language.
right, yeah, definitely not what they build them with. Yeah, you got that.
To my
Right.
knowledge, I don't know that there is specifically an ancient Egyptian language, but there was, like, you know, there was written languages of many forms at that time. Whether it was a specific, like, you know, Mandarin versus English versus the Greek alphabet, you know, there are different languages right now, but more so than the languages, there are different characters used to write those languages. So if you write something that I say in English, in Spanish, you're using the same characters to write those words that English and Spanish are both sharing. But you can write those same words that I'm speaking in Mandarin, and it's a bunch of symbols, or in the Greek alphabet, and it looks completely different than English, or same thing with, you know, anything else that exists. So same thing. Why, like you're saying, why would that be the only thing that we know the Egyptians used to communicate when you can't really communicate with a bunch of pictures? That's
Right.
all up for interpretation.
Right.
And it's not like Mandarin. It's not placed together. It's like Greek. Greek used, like, the first letter of words because there were, like, such common phrases. And now that's the same thing as us having OMG or BRB or something like that. So, yet again, here's an ancient concept that we're looking at them like they're so backwards, and we're now reverting back to a very similar thing.
Yeah, and you know, in today's world, like, you speak a Mandarin, if you have a typewriter or or, you know, maybe on a keyboard it's a little different because you can have software, you know, all these programs and stuff. But when we first came from typewriters, you could never use a typewriter for Mandarin language. Like, the Chinese language has, like, what, 3,000 characters or something like that?
Yeah, no, specific words and all that kind of stuff. So it's like you're not going to have a 26-character alphabet.
Right.
Which, okay,
Right.
what do you know about that? Because in the concept of numerology, I have heard, you know, so, like, we didn't always have 26 letters. And if you look at what is going on with, like, numerology based on nines, and they put all the letters in, we should have more letters in our alphabet.
Right.
That may eventually, like, develop. So our alphabet might end up expanding.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything about that, but I have heard it. Do you know anything about that?
No, I don't. That's the first time I heard it, actually. Let me ask you. Okay, let me ask you this about languages. Have you noticed this? Like, you can go to different countries and experience all these different languages, and sometimes the languages will be a lot alike.
Uh-huh.
Like in Germany, they say hallo. In England, they say hello. Um, the indigenous people of the Americas, like they would say how. If you go to Hawaii, they say aloha. Like, have you noticed how all that sounds similar, but these people are so
So
far apart?
similar. Yeah, so it's like, well, if you want to go weirdo extraterrestrial thought process on that, it could all be an interpretation of an extraterrestrial language that was the common denominator that everyone took their interpretation to.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that extraterrestrials. I mean, it's very debatable. You know, don't quote me. It's very debatable, but the way I feel about it is, I feel it's beyond a shadow of a doubt that extraterrestrials are at the roots of languages that were given to humans. The etymology, the root words, and all this stuff all around the world, and you know, they're the masters of it. They're the masters of language, and
Well, it's the same thing with religion. So I think that you're like totally right there. You know, every religion has a creation story and a lot of similarities about how they teach their parables and morals and all that stuff. So if you look at religion to religion and compare those different things, there's so many similarities in these stories, even though they're not the same religion and they didn't have exposure to each other. And so how do they have so many commonalities? And why are, you know, a creation story, a prodigal son, a savior, a martyr, you know, why are these, all these themes are covered in every religion and they just happen to guarantee to get every single one of them. No religion forgets one and the other one forgets a different one, you know?
right.
How is that so common when it was so far removed and we didn't have the technology like we do today where it's a globalization? These were pockets of people that may never have been exposed to
Right.
anyone else.
Right. Yeah. You know, I remember one time I was I was going to these after school classes. I was like in fifth grade, sixth grade, and I was going to these after school classes, and we were learning about religion and stuff. It was kind of, you know, it was like a kids club, you know. So they would introduce religion, different things, and read the Bible. It was kind of like a Christian group that ran it, and you know, we were talking about Noah and Noah's Ark. And we were drawing pictures of it, and then a few months later, I was at my grandfather's house and I was looking at television. We were sitting there watching it, and on the History Channel, they were talking about the story of Gilgamesh, and I was like, Gilgamesh? Who is Gilgamesh? And my grandfather was like, oh yeah, before Noah, you know, there was the Epic of Gilgamesh, which is a Jewish interpretation of Noah, but it just predates the story of Noah. You know, it's an older version of it. And so it made me think. I'm like, so why are they telling me about Noah? And there's a much older story that goes to Gilgamesh. It didn't really make sense to me. Like, why are people going off these stories? And there's older stories of those stories, and probably older, you know, it probably goes back to the ancient Sumerian epics to begin with. And so
Well,